สวัสดีค่ะ
Well, we haven't been here for a while for YouTube, have we?
Yes.
Yeah. And so JC and Nat here, we wanted to get you up to speed. We got a lot of changes going to happen. We went off and did the farm thing for what? Almost
3 years.
Almost 3 years. Can you believe it's been almost 3 years?
Yeah.
Went fast, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But we've been there, done that, got that t-shirt. Right? And we've lost a lot of YouTube viewers because a lot of people weren't interested in the farm. But because of what was happening after the pandemic and everything, we thought it was a good idea to get some land established and grow some fruit trees and everything. And so we've done that.
Yes.
The fruit trees and everything are growing. And so we're going to set that to the side for a while, and we're going to go off and create some new kind of content. It's not necessarily going to have to do with retirement, because nowadays I think there's a lot of reasons to escape from the countries that people are living in and come over to Thailand. Now, is Thailand perfect? No, not at all. But in some ways it's a lot better. In other ways, which I'll talk about in upcoming videos, maybe it's something you might want to consider not being here, because there's both sides of the coin, right? The yin and the yang. But we want to do a little bit of housekeeping. You're going to notice, though, a change in our channel name, a change in some of the artwork. So there's going to be a lot of changes. And I got some new ideas of how to produce content for you all that I think will be of more value. But I want to do some housekeeping. And so we're going to do this video because I wanted to get everybody up to speed about...
He back.
That's right, the basal cell carcinoma that was on my back that we talked about. People have asked me whatever happened, so I want to talk about that. Then we'll do another separate video about some big changes that happened with PayPal that really influenced what we're doing over here and how we're doing it. So, but this video I wanted to talk about the skin cancer on my back. Now, this is not medical advice. I'm not suggesting anybody else do what I did. It's just, I'm just sharing with you my experience, because we had this spot. The spot was about as big as, about as big as a 10 baht coin or something here. Yeah, it wasn't real big, but it had been there for a while. It was red, so we went to the hospital and we shared that on YouTube. And they said, they did the biopsy and it came back basal cell carcinoma. And they said, okay, we can cut it out and you can go to a plastic surgeon and get a skin graft and all this stuff. And I said, well, I think I want to try and treat it myself. And, you know, I read a lot of their comments on YouTube where people said, you know, that's a great idea. Or other people said, no, just cut it out. I know people in a lot of fear. You know, because the word cancer, right? When you hear cancer, people are fearful, understandably so. And so I had remembered my dad had basal cell carcinoma on his forehead and on his arms, because he, like me, spent a lot of time around the water and the beach growing up in the sun. And so I had taken him to a dermatologist one time, and they used liquid nitrogen and froze it off on his arms. And when I was in there, I was talking to the dermatologist. I had mentioned, you know, not everybody has liquid nitrogen. They said, well, you could try using 35% hydrogen peroxide. Now, I'm familiar with using high percentage hydrogen peroxide, and you got to be careful because it'll turn your skin white, it'll burn it. And so anyway, I thought, what the heck, it's worth a try, right? So what I did is I got food grade 35% hydrogen peroxide, put it on a cotton swab and applied it. I think I applied it starting out for the first week twice a day, I think morning and night, if I'm not mistaken. And then after 1 week, I cut back to, I think, once a day. And then after 2 weeks, I went to every other day. And when we first started applying it, it would do what?
Bubble.
Yeah, it would foam up. And so it was obviously working on something. And then it got to the point where I'd put it on and it really wouldn't do too much. So then I'd wait a little while and I'd think, oh, there's some red areas still on there, I'll apply it some. And eventually it just stopped bubbling at all. And now what do you think?
White skin.
Yeah, it's basically, it might look a little bit like scar tissue there or something. Like there's a scar, but it's not red, not anything really. And so to me, it's basically cleared up at this point. And we'll see going forward. I'll have Nat keep an eye on it back there. But that's what I did. There's a lot of alternative treatment for a lot of different things, including not just skin cancers, but other kinds of cancers as well. So I always think that traditional medical approach, my dad being in the medical field, I know the limitations of medicine, side effects of medicine. In fact, I've told Nat this before. I'll be watching some kind of sporting event from America on television, and almost, I'd say, 80% of the ads for golf and stuff are for drugs. Cosana, we call Cosana, commercial for a drug. It's usually about a minute long, but 45 seconds of that is almost just talking about all the side effects of the medication, including death. And I'm thinking, well, that's not a good thing because, like I said, from the medical background or from the familial working within the medical community, I heard a lot of stories and things, and we knew, my dad and I knew the limitations of medicine. And so to me, the processes in America for doing diagnostics, telling you what's wrong with you, I think are one of the best in the world. As far as treatment, though, I would always shoot for an alternative treatment first, but monitor, make sure things aren't out of control where you might say, okay, there's an emergency here, I need to go get emergency treatment. But until it gets to that point, I'm willing to try almost anything that's non-invasive. And so that's what I did. 35% hydrogen peroxide, and it took care of it. And I've used it on other things where I thought there was a spot. I think when we were living in Bangsapan, there was a little spot on my lip, and I put it on there for about a week, and it disappeared. And so something to think about. Again, I'm not trying to tell you or recommend you do that. It's not medical advice, just sharing something with you. And, I tried an alternative approach when I had Crohn's disease, which was in, I think, 1987 or something. And it got to a point they wanted to give me a colostomy and a resection of my intestines and hang the bag on there. And I went, nah, I think I'll pass on that. And then I started to get myself well, and I remember going to my gastroenterologist, and he says, okay, he says, how you doing? He said that every time. And I said, I'm actually doing pretty good. This was after like 2 years. And I was like skin and bones. That's why, in my videos and stuff, people see my chicken legs, we call chicken legs. Because I lost all my muscle mass over a period of 2 years without being able to exercise or go out of the house or anything. But anyway, I told him I was doing well, and he says, okay, we ought to do that barium enema, the contrast again, and find out where you are now so we have the baseline. And I told him, when I first came to see you, I just had a little bit of blood in my stool, and we did that, and that just exacerbated the whole thing. It started the whole process that I went into for 2 years of just something horrendous. So I said, no, I think I'll pass on that, and we'll just keep seeing if I keep getting better. And he says, well, if you're not willing to do what I say, I can't be your doctor. And guess what?
You don't go anymore.
That was the last time I saw the guy. And I have my file though. I kept the files like this thick. I had perianal fistulas. I had the whole works. And so, but I cured myself. Don't have any symptoms. Of course, they say there's no cure. But I eat anything I want. And for the first 5 years or so, if I strayed off of the diet that I was on, trying to not feed bad bacteria in the gut with sugars and carbohydrates, if I strayed too far off, I would start to feel a little weird. Maybe I got a little symptom, a little pus in the stool or something, and I'd go right back on it and take care of it, remedy all that, and then to the point where now I don't ever even worry about it. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And so just wanted to pass that on to y'all. Again, we got big changes coming, and one of the things I need help with is, when I first started doing the whole Retire Cheap YouTube channel, there was only myself and maybe a handful of people talking about living in Thailand. And now I think there's hundreds actually of people living, doing videos about hanging out over here, digital nomads and retirees. And I need your help because I don't know any of these channels really. I maybe know three or four of them. So in the comments, would you do me a favor? Because you'll see going forward why this is important. Can you just in the comments put in the names of the channels, names of the channels you watch about information about Thailand. I'm really interested in knowing what channels you're interested in. You'll see why in the future that this was important and I needed your help. But I'd appreciate if you do that. And the other thing was we'll be talking about the PayPal fiasco. And so we're not really getting new members in our membership site, but we could use your help, and so there's a little thing always now that's always going to be on there, buy us a coffee. So you'll see in the description below, and you could help out with a donation if you feel inclined to do so, because it's important for us, for the things we do to help support all the people we do and the charitable endeavors and stuff like that. So we really appreciate it if that happens. And I think there was something else I wanted to talk to him about, but I can't remember what it is right now. I'm going to be actually creating a new platform where all the information that was in our member site will be available for free, and if anybody finds values in the information within those pages of the new site, they'll be able to donate something. Also, if you all need a consultation, you need to talk to somebody about any aspect of being over here or why not to be over here or whatever, there's a link in the description as well. I'm going to start doing phone or Zoom consultations, and so I'll put the link if you need to talk to somebody about anything about living over here or anything else you want to talk about. I'm available, and so that'll be in the description as well. So that's it for this video. We're going to shoot another one, and it'll come up shortly about the PayPal fiasco, because I think that's really important for anybody that's over here that moved their bank accounts over here and they don't have any ties back home and they're thinking about connecting PayPal over here, or they got significant others that do some kind of small business or something and use PayPal to receive payments. It's really important to understand what has happened and what has transpired, and how to protect yourself from challenges like what we've gone through. So that video will be coming soon. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with us over all this time too, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Y'all been very patient. I see that some subscribers went down, the views went down, but again, we know that people aren't really interested in the farming stuff, so we're going to do something completely different, and I think you'll be really interested. So make sure you subscribe. Thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff, right? See ya, JC and Nat out.
Goodbye.
Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.